Hey, Shirok. Today we got a cool topic. You want to hear what's about?
What is it?
So it's about an actual ghost that came to a person in their dream. And that testimony from the ghost was actually used in a trial in a murder case. Can you believe that?
In a trial? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You got to check it out. You guys won't believe it. I think it's the only case of its kind.
Yeah, this is mind-blowing right here.
And we'll talk about
Stay
that
tuned.
up next.
What?
What's wrong?
Agent Owens, I just saw a ghost.
Really? I don't think so.
I'm not kidding.
Sure you did.
It was a ghost.
Well, today's case involves testimony from a ghost which was reportedly used in a murder trial.
Wow. That sounds interesting. But I did see a ghost.
What is that? Yikes! Run!
Run fast.
This is silly. It's all good stuff. Hey guys, if you're new here,
welcome to Studio 7 now. And this is your girl Shavak.
And this is Ed.
And this is for education and entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and always be kind to everyone.
And that'd be great. Be kind to everyone, everywhere. And before we get into it, we're just going to pause this for a quick little commercial. We do have another channel that we're trying to get known out there. It's called The Jump Scare. And before I can even describe it, I'm just going to let this little quick commercial. It's only 20 seconds or so. Let's do it. Join us at The Jump Scare, where we watch and react to scary and strange videos. But there's a twist. As you watch, we throw in our own jump scare videos to keep you on your toes. Do you have nerves of steel? Prove it by taking our challenge for some added fun. Watch with a full mug of water, preferably with our logo on it, and see if you can stay steady and dry. Please be safe by keeping the water at room temperature and holding the cup away from anything that can be ruined, like electronics. Let us know if you kept your cool or ended up all washed up. All right, so Shirok, this is going to be a good one. This is unique. I haven't really heard anybody cover this, and I watch a lot of these related shows. We love true crime, we love scare, all this stuff, and we're going to check it out. And who's going to lead us today? Instead of watching a video, we're going to have our AI Crime Force team. For those who are not familiar with it, I realize we're covering up there. I got to fix that. We're covering up the sea. Hey, Doug, Shirok. No, I'm kidding. So for those who don't know, we have an AI, not only created AI team, but they use AI technology to help us find some information on different cases and different topics, and they present it. And then later we ask some questions, or actually some questions they come into us, and then we give it to them, and they provide us some answers.
Exactly. And like I said, still do your own research, because the AI doesn't mean they're wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes the AI, how it interprets the audio, like last show, is kind of funny. They read it kind of weird, but that's all right. Let's do this. Okay, guys, take it away. Let's hear what you got.
The Greenbrier Ghost is a unique and eerie case from American history, notable for being the only known instance where testimony from a ghost was reportedly used in a murder trial. This 19th century tale from Greenbrier County, West Virginia, is a mix of folklore, legal history, and unresolved questions. The death of Zona Hester Shue. In January 1897, a young woman named Elva Zona Hester Shue, commonly called Zona, was found dead in her home.
Wow.
Zona was a recently married woman, having wed a blacksmith named Erasmus Edward Stribling Trout Shue, often referred to as Trout Shue, just 3 months earlier. Her lifeless body was discovered by a local boy who had been sent to run an errand for trout. Zona was lying at the foot of the stairs, stretched out with her legs together and one arm across her chest. Trout appeared devastated by her death and insisted that she had died from everlasting faint, a term that suggested a sudden heart failure or stroke. The local physician and coroner, Dr. George Knapp, conducted a cursory examination of Zona's body. However, Trout's behavior during the examination was odd. He cradled Zona's head and refused to let anyone touch her neck or throat. The examination was cut short, and the cause of death was officially listed as childbirth, despite no evidence of her being pregnant.
That's weird.
Zona's body was buried in a nearby cemetery, and the case seemed closed. Zona's mother and the ghostly revelation. Zona's mother, Mary Jane Hester, never believed that her daughter had died of natural causes. Mary Jane had disliked Trout Shue from the start and suspected he had something to do with her daughter's death. She prayed fervently for answers, and according to her later testimony, her prayers were answered in the form of a ghostly visitation. Mary Jane claimed that Zona's spirit appeared to her over 4 nights, describing how Trout had brutally unalived her. According to the ghost, Trout had been violent and abusive during their brief marriage. On the night of her death, the two had argued because Trout believed Zona had not cooked meat for his supper. In a fit of rage, he strangled her, breaking her neck. The ghost reportedly emphasized this by twisting her head completely around during the visitation.
Oof, that's
Convinced
scary.
by these supernatural encounters, Mary Jane took her concerns to the local prosecutor, John Preston. While Preston was skeptical of the ghostly testimony, he agreed to reopen the case, citing Trout's suspicious behavior and the unusual circumstances surrounding Zona's death.
Exhumation and evidence. Zona's body was exhumed in February 1897, and a proper autopsy was conducted. The results confirmed Mary Jane's claims. Zona's neck had been broken.
Wow.
The autopsy revealed that her windpipe was crushed, and her neck showed signs of manual strangulation. Her death was ruled a homicide. Trout Shue was arrested and charged with unaliving. During the investigation, it was discovered that he had been married twice before. His first wife had divorced him due to abuse, and his second wife had died under mysterious circumstances.
There's your double sign.
Trout's history, combined with the physical evidence, painted a damning picture. The trial. Trout Shue's trial began in June 1897. Mary Jane Hester took the stand as a witness and told the court about her ghostly visitations. While the defense tried to portray her as unreliable and overly superstitious, her testimony captured the jury's attention. Interestingly, the prosecution avoided relying too heavily on the ghost story, instead focusing on the physical evidence and Trout's suspicious past. Despite the unconventional nature of Mary Jane's testimony, the jury found Trout Shue guilty of unaliving. He was sentenced to life in prison. Trout died 3 years later in 1900 while incarcerated in the West Virginia State Penitentiary. The legacy of the Greenbrier Ghost. The Greenbrier Ghost case remains a fascinating blend of folklore and legal history. It's unique in that the testimony of a ghost, albeit indirectly, played a key role in reopening the case and securing a conviction. Today, Zona's story is a beloved local legend in Greenbrier County, where a historical marker near her grave commemorates the case. The marker reads, "Interred in nearby cemetery is Zona Hester Shue. Her death in 1897 was presumed natural until her spirit appeared to her mother to describe how she was unalived by her husband, Edward. Autopsy on the exhumed body verified the apparition's account. Edward, found guilty of unaliving, was sentenced to the state prison. Only known case in which testimony from a ghost helped convict a murderer. While skeptics view the case as an example of coincidence or fabrication, believers see it as evidence of the supernatural. Whether fact or folklore, the Greenbrier Ghost continues to captivate imaginations and serve as a reminder of the strange ways justice can unfold."
Wow, hold on a second. I want to talk about this for a second before we get going with questions. Wow, that was pretty cool, man.
That was definitely cool. But when I start looking at it, I notice that actually still happens today. It's just that we don't say the ghost, but remember people go to psychics and they
sure.
And it's like, okay, either psychics or sometimes they have dreams too.
But that's accepted in a trial though?
No, it's not accepted in a trial. But you got to remember there was some substantial evidence, not just the ghost story, but remember the body was exhumed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they exhumed the body, they found the neck.
Right.
So there was definitely substantial evidence plus the ghost testimony. So I think that might, yeah.
I think one led to the other, to your point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the testimony or whatever, how her mother was able to communicate it was strong enough that they're like, well, let's go ahead and exhume the body. There's enough here. Excuse me, especially with Edward's, I think his name was Edward, his past, with wife number 1 and wife number 2.
Yeah. I'm surprised how did they find out about the wives, because this was such
They probably had somebody come in and do a character type thing. Even back then, they probably did something like, hey, this guy's known to be, some mysterious stuff. So all that probably led to like, hey, let's exhume the body. But over 4 nights, visits from a ghost?
What? That's crazy right there.
I have to do more research. Well, AI, the Crime Force team said, mentioned that this was the only case like this, but it's pretty wild. I mean, to think about that. But you're right. There has been psychics and stuff that, supposedly work with authorities to help with stuff.
I believe in ghosts. I know they do come, so.
In a dream, that's just pretty wild. So let's see what questions came in for this topic. Let's see. Let's go back to here. Okay, why would ghost testimony be rejected today? That's a great question, because it's like, okay, it was accepted back then, but would most likely be rejected today, and why? Let's hear what they have to say. Let's get the volume going. Okay, here we go.
Number 1, legal standards of evidence. Modern courts adhere to strict rules for admissible evidence, such as the Federal Rules of Evidence in the United States. Evidence must be relevant, reliable, and based on tangible or credible sources. Supernatural claims, such as ghost testimony, would be considered hearsay at best and speculative at worst, failing to meet these criteria. Number 2, scientific and rational approach. The legal system prioritizes evidence that can be observed, measured, and corroborated by experts. Testimony based on personal spiritual experiences, such as seeing or hearing a ghost, cannot be scientifically verified.
That's true.
Number 3, credibility of witnesses. A person claiming to have received information from a ghost might be perceived as unreliable or even mentally unstable, leading to their testimony being discredited. And number 4, precedent and judicial skepticism. Courts generally avoid entertaining supernatural claims to prevent setting a dangerous precedent. Accepting such testimony could open the door to numerous unsubstantiated claims, undermining the legal system's integrity. While ghost testimony captured the imagination of the public in the Greenbrier ghost case, it would almost certainly be inadmissible in modern courts. However, supernatural beliefs can still play an indirect role, influencing investigations or explaining motivations. Ultimately, modern legal systems prioritize evidence that is rational, observable, and verifiable, ensuring that decisions are grounded in fact rather than folklore or superstition.
They did a great job answering that. That was pretty thorough.
Yeah.
They basically dropped the mic on that in terms of, saying why it wouldn't be accepted today. And everything makes sense what they said, but they'd have to have some factual stuff to back up
substantial evidence,
and maybe it's coincidence. Are there scenarios where ghost testimonies might be referenced? Are there ghost scenarios where ghost testimony might be referenced? I don't know.
Interesting.
I have to ask the Crime Force team. That one I don't have an answer for too. I don't have an inkling what would be. Let's see what they say.
While ghost testimony itself would likely never be directly used in court, supernatural claims could play an indirect role in modern cases under certain conditions. Number 1. Triggering an investigation. Similar to the Greenbrier ghost case, if someone claimed a ghost provided them with information, it might prompt authorities to investigate further. However, any resulting legal action would rely on tangible evidence uncovered during the investigation, not the supernatural claim itself. Number 2, psychological or cultural defense. In cases where cultural or personal beliefs in the supernatural influence someone's actions, e.g., committing a crime due to a belief in possession or a curse, the supernatural claim might be introduced as part of the defendant's state of mind or to explain their behavior. However, this would serve to contextualize their motives, not validate the supernatural claim. Lastly, number 3, paranormal influence as a legal strategy. Defense attorneys might use a client's belief in ghosts, spirits, or possession to argue for diminished responsibility, temporary insanity, or other psychological conditions. But this approach would rely on expert testimony from psychiatrists or psychologists rather than supernatural claims.
Gotcha. Wow, you guys did awesome. Give yourself an applause, man. You guys did great. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my goodness. Let's break out of here. Seriously, I think those were kind of tough questions in terms of, like, if somebody asked me that, even if I did some research, I don't think I would have been as thorough. So interesting. So I don't know if you caught that, Chirac, but basically what they were saying is that, investigators, sometimes they want to close the case. They want to find out what the heck is going on, who did it. And I would assume, and I'm making an assumption, not fact, we own research, that investigators would use any piece of information they could find. So if somebody says, hey, I had a strong dream last night that so-and-so was murdered by in the park, and I think that park is the one down the street. Can you take a look? The investigators might say, you know what, we don't have anything really going on now. We should go take a look. I think that's what they're alluding to. But in terms of the court is not going to be like, oh, you dreamt, somebody said that they murdered somebody, so we're going to believe that, or we're going to look upon that. They need more factual stuff.
Exactly. And you also got to think at the relationship too. Zona and Mary Jane, that's her name, right? So they had a good relationship, a good rapport. And, like, she would probably tell her things. So, as a mother, you take those things in. And then I guess once she didn't really want him to marry her because she was really young at this time. So when that happened, they start being exchange. They would not have a good relationship anymore. So, she starts when she used to come over, I know they don't talk about this part, but she used to see her attitude was changed and things was happening. So the mother had a sense anyway that something was not right. And then when she passed, I guess it all just, so she looked at a lot of it when she was alive too. And you got to look at those, and especially mom, they know they kids. So that was something that she definitely recognized. And then I guess, so I could see that happening. What about you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see some of this. But again, I'm sorry not to bring this back up, Shrek, but 4 nights in a row. I'm an active dreamer. I dream every night, almost pretty much every night. I don't know about ghosts. That people have passed on. I've dreamt about, and some of them are like talking to me as if I was talking to them if they're here. But I dream almost every night, but I don't think I'd have a dream 4 nights in a row.
I don't know. You have to take it as a grain of salt. I think that it probably wasn't 4 nights. To be honest, I don't believe it was 4 nights in a row, right? Mm-hmm. But I definitely believe it probably did happen. Like, I know I dreamt of a ghost. I dreamt of someone in my family as a ghost. But 4 nights, I guess, to make it more impact, more powerful, more
That's
something.
That's a great point.
That, okay, we got to... we have to do our research.
Getting bombarded 4 nights in a row. 4 nights, my daughter's been coming to me.
Exactly. You have to definitely beef up and just basically be boisterous about it, right? If you're boisterous about it, you'll take action. If you just say, I just had like a 2-minute dream, like, okay, we're not going to. But 4 nights in a row, something has to happen.
And then here's another thing I just thought of. You gave me another great idea / insight. Is what happens if she didn't even dream about her at all? That's true. But she knew
exactly
that this guy did it.
That's a good
and
point. And
probably guessed as to why. Maybe she knew after when she saw the body. Maybe she put 2 and together. Maybe she heard about how the second wife died. Who knows? But maybe she just made the whole thing up to draw attention to exhuming the body and doing a little more further investigation to get him.
Because remember, he definitely used to abuse her
Oh yeah.
Zona. So she probably interacted with her daughter, and she saw, like marks of.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe she saw the body.
Yeah,
and put two
even
and
alive,
together.
like going out because they had a relationship. Remember, they were really
true.
close, and like imagine me. Like today, you see your kid and you're like, okay, what are those bruises?
Yeah, what
like,
are those marks? What's going on? What's going on
exactly.
with you?
And then all of a sudden, my daughter's dead. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could be another reason. She could have just fabricated the whole thing. But it's just really interesting that testimony got brought in.
Fabricated, yeah.
Yeah. And then today, I agree. It probably would be helped during the investigation, but this actual solid testimony, no, it probably wouldn't be considered into the record.
Right.
Because today, the way the legal system is, people would just say, really, that's going to be in testimony? I'm going to go back and, what's it called? I can't think today. They're going to go back and try to get it thrown out again. What's it called when you're convicted, but then you can go back? Not withdraw. Oh,
retrial,
my goodness.
like
Retrial. Yeah, there's a name for it, but... you could file papers.
Appeal.
Appeal, thank you. Oh, I couldn't think of that word for whatever reason.
Yeah, you can definitely get an appeal on
so
any
they probably want to avoid all that stuff by having any hocus pocus in there. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
that was definitely, we pulled that one out. That was a little different one. And the Crime Force team, there's not a lot of information on some of the stuff. So they do a great job there's different AI tools that are used to kind of collect some of the information. And over time, things will get better. We do find situations where some of the tools kind of not agree with each other, but Crime Force does a great job presenting information. So thanks again. I hope you guys join us again.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like it.
To us, we just enjoy you guys being here listening to this. If you want to help us support to become a member, that'd be great. We can give you guys a shout out. And we can also, hear from you. Right now, we don't currently at this recording, we don't have comments going, but if you become a member, you can send us an email or through a communication and different ways, and give us some show ideas. So that'd be great. But we just want you guys here. Enjoy. Hopefully, you enjoy the material that we give you guys every week. So that's
some of the perks, which is good.
Yeah, and check out our jump scare.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Until next week,
Studio 70.
We'll see you. Thank you.